But he's always on the bench, like every time I guess the guy's like, oh, make sure you connect Tatum. He's open. Make sure you connect Tatum. They can't go. Oh, so that.
Can he make the shot though? Is the question.
Isn't that always the question? Oh, okay. You. Yeah, get that. Chicken strips.
Step into it.
Where's he going?
Shoot it. Long. He missed.
You go on my
Does that mean you need to move?
I'm gonna head back. What? No, I'm saying.
You're gonna have to.
Hello. Unfortunately, the scoreboard is not complying right now. In the second half, it will be up and working for this freshman game between Nixa and Republic. Right now, Nixa trails 18-20, Republic winning by 2. And there's just a timeout called. 4 minutes, 27 seconds left in the second. Like I said, I'll try to update the score every time or every now and then, but second half rolls around, scoreboard will be up and working.
Team first of the quarter.
Your first choice with the lowest tuition in the region and scholarship
scoreboard, just like it said turn off to help charge.
Now charge 2. Make it good.
I'm
Team
using
second.
the whiteboard.
Actually, one more second ball.
Well, it also just wasn't working before that, so I don't know. No, where is it? Jack in the back of the thing, and then I plug the power into the floor box, and then that's all I need to do. Alright.
30-second timeout, Republic. Active sellers returning to the Nixa lineup following the timeout.
budget. Fries are really good.
30-second timeout.
Yeah, all my fries.
Full timeout.
The burgers.
The guy there was like, who is doing? Does he just do us?
Take the burger.
No, I mean like,
Jacob's not going to be sweating anyway, so it's not going to matter. Shake on. So, no, I'm just going to How please could I buy it, bro? Just one.
Pepsi.
It'll be small.
No, we're gonna go get ice cream. His name is like a
I don't know what your burger looks
Rich Lincoln.
Especially half the team's playing so much.
Playing goodbye, Young Lee. Public foul charge to number 12, Rich Lozano, his first. Team first. And good to the line for the Eagles, it's the first of two. Substitutions for both teams in the lineup for the Eagles. Rich Lincoln, number 2, replacing Becca Tellers. For Republic. Garrett Warlock, number 29, replacing Rich Lozano. Timeout Republic, full timeout. Full timeout, Nixa. The ball, stay with your cover. Ashton Goodnight, Keon Lee, and 1. Republic foul number 2. Garrett Morlock is second. Third quarter. Makes a foul charge to David Brazeal, his second. 13 foul. Foul charge to Justice Schwartz, his first, team fourth. Foul charge to David Brazeal, his third, 15 foul, Republican the bonus. Garrett Morlock to the line, shooting 2. Foul charge to Briggs Lincoln, his fourth. Alex Russell to the line for Republic, shooting 2. Public foul charge to Alex Russell, his second, 14 foul. In the ball game, our final score, your Republic Tigers 52, Nixa Eagles 45. junior number 15, Brady Noel. 6'3" junior number 20, Sam Grant. Nixa Eagles JV, led by Coach Scott Miller, assisted by Dave Ferguson. On your feet, Tiger fans, it's time to be your Republic Tigers. 6'1" sophomore, number 12, Slinger Howard.
It is a beautiful night down here in Republic with the Nixa Eagles playing at Republic High School. Starting with the tip-off. And we're off. Seems Nixa has control of the ball. Went out of bounds. Nixa passes it back into the court to Jalen.
Seemingly like Republic's going to come out in kind of a zone-ish defense. You know, it's kind of a zone man. They're going to stick number 15, Grayson Fleetwood, down low, just trying to patrol the paint.
Seems like Nixa's shot was a little off, and I think Republic will take it back down onto their side of the court. Good spin move from Republic.
No, Fleetwood standing at 6'7". I mean,
All right, you hold it.
he's a junior on JV. I mean, that size is just something that Nix is definitely going to have to make a focal point.
I agree. Nixa kind of struggling to really push into that rim and get a drive to the basket.
No, so far, Nick's just coming off a little cold. Might need to swing the ball around a little bit more. They're kind of getting shots up really early in the shot clock. Or excuse me, there's no shot clock, but just early in possessions.
Republic kind of lost control of the ball, and Nixa brought it back down the court. Republic will take that ball back over. And that is a good, clean shot for Republic. Almost in the corner there at a high angle.
And if you're a Republic, that's exactly how you want to start getting going, you know. A little bit of a mishap, you know, threw the ball away, just were lucky to get it back, and way to take advantage of Cameron Miller kind of getting back slow on defense.
Do agree, Nixa gets the rebound. Looking to put a board back up. I think they also failed to do that just a little bit. I think they need to show a little bit more aggressiveness in the paint.
I mean, credit to Republic, you know, they know their strengths with Grayson Fleetwood in the paint. It's definitely a presence that, you know, Nixa is feeling right now. 6'7", like I said earlier, just a very tall forward. You don't see that a lot in high school basketball.
You don't. You really don't. Nixa's back on their court. They're recovering the ball from Republic. And that is an open layup.
And that's just what Nixa's going to need to do, you know, getting that post pass, you know, that entry pass up to the, you know, the free throw line. It seems like they're going to collapse around everything, and then Cameron Miller's just going to have to rotate dunker spots.
Republic kind of fluked that layup. I think they recovered the ball back in time. Got that rebound. Nixa recovers back the ball. Steals it from Republic.
It's a bit of a miscue right there, but if you're Nixa, you got to like how you're playing Fleetwood here. I mean, you coming in, I mean, such a height advantage with him. I mean, his presence down low, you know, Nixa is definitely feeling it, but whenever he catches the ball, it seems like people are just kind of swarming him. He has the ball just kind of out in the open. Doesn't seem to have a lot of grip strength, and they're just knocking it out of his hands.
Same with Republic. I think Republic has a lot of steals.
And that's his second 3 of the night. You know, completely feeling this Republic offense.
Republic does have a really good offense with some really nice playmaking and passing on their team. And a lot of communication.
And something we've seen a lot of in the varsity game, they struggle to get on 3-pointers, you know. And so far, number 3, Maverick Baker is just really, he's gotten hot so far.
Pass almost went to Nixa there, deflecting it off a teammate.
And Nixa, you know, kind of going into that man press, going to try to speed them up so they can't, you know, swing the ball around and get to those open 3-point shots. Good move from Ajayi.
Very good move from Ajayi.
And, you know, and Ajayi's
spin move into that layup.
And, you know, Ajayi's someone
nice.
we've kind of seen get going in the varsity game. I mean, against, last game, gosh, excuse me, I can't remember who they played last. But never mind that. He did not come out that second half. It was Web City, excuse me. You know, a team that, you know, matched Nix's speed a lot on that press early in that game. You know, they just kind of struggled to get going with them not being able to force those turnovers. But Ajayi came in with that long wingspan. They kind of threw him and Flynn up top, and it just made plays. And he didn't come out in that entire second half.
I agree. I think number 5, Matthew Ajayi, is a really good key player for Nixa and a very good playmaker.
And just again, Maverick Baker just getting going. I mean, he's been the only thing that's, you know, the only bright spot for the Republic offense so far. You know, you've seen them throw some turnovers, kind of be loosey with the ball, but he's been able to knock down some shots.
Good point attempt from Nixa.
You know, Nixa needs to start capitalizing on these opportunities. You see them kind of throw the ball away, but Nixa just doesn't make them pay. I mean, they'll either throw the ball away, you know, they'll get their hand on a pass, so they just can't convert off of it.
I think for Nixa to really show an aggressive approach going into the late game, I think they might need to show a little bit more, like, improvement on finishing, because they do good going up to the rim, but the scoring is like, it's just not enough to go against Republic's offense. I think if they're going to get back up, they might need to improve that a little bit.
You know, one thing that's, you know, Republic's offense, yes, it has a lot of capabilities, but so far they're only getting points from the 3-point line. You know, you could shift into like a 3-2, 2-3, you know, get into that zone action, try to get out on these shooters a little bit better, because they're just killing you from long range. And also, something that I want to highlight there, you know, like a good shot from Sam Krantz, but if he just waited a second longer, Ajayi was cutting that baseline. He was wide open, you know, maybe just taking a little bit longer to swing that ball around, you know, just get some offense, like get this defense moving around. It could be a little bit more beneficial.
Exactly. Move the defense around, cover your man, like just basic things that really help you get the basket. Any game of basketball, like.
And just right there, you know, Lucky Fleetwood was missing it, but you just can't, you know, just bat that ball around. Someone's going to have to get both hands on it, and you just can't let them get those second chance points, because that's just going to be crucial later down this game, later down the line.
Substitution for your Tigers in the lineup, number 11.
Fleetwood coming out.
Grayson Fleetwood.
Oh, no. Fleetwood coming out, you know. So far, it's kind of giving Nixa trouble on that inside. You see them be a little bit hesitant to throw that ball in there to Miller. But it'll be interesting to see how Republic will adjust, not having that big presence down low.
Nixa leaving Republic open for another 3. I don't think that was a really good decision, but they missed it anyway. And Nixa's going to take it back down. Try and score a layup. Still attempting, and I think a foul was called.
I mean, right there, you know, just couldn't convert off of an opportunity, but that backside's been open all night. I said last possession, you know, Ajayi just cut baseline. He was wide open, just couldn't find him. But, you know, Nixa's going to have to start capitalizing on some of these opportunities that they're getting, you know. They're getting, you know, they either get a ball, like their hand on the ball, but they just can't, you know, recover it, or just Republic will throw an errant pass and, you know, they'll somehow just get the ball back. You know, Nixa getting a lot of opportunities, just can't capitalize.
I think they just need to make the most of the opportunities to try and get as much points as possible when by that net, like score layups, get good finishing. And Nixa will leave Republic open for another 3.
Exactly. You know, Republic getting their points exclusively from that three-point line. You saw there a little bit late on rotation. I think it was a little bit of a miscommunication right there. And you just can't have that when Republic's knocking it down like this.
Nixa open for a 3, and that was a good shot.
I mean,
by Mathan Ajayi.
I mean, it was just pure from the three-point line. I mean, you can't ask for a better shot. Just, you know, Ajayi, not only an amazing defender, that's definitely one of his strong suits, but, you know, he's sneakily good on offense. Talking to him, you know, being his friend for a while, he talks about how he doesn't just practice on, you know, those dribble moves, those between just trying to be fast with the ball in his hands. He practices those rip throughs, you know. With him being able to get that three-ball going, they'll start jumping at him a little bit more, and him being able to capitalize off that, you know, those rip throughs, getting to that basket.
I agree. I think watching this player over the past years, he's improved and really shown an up on defense, especially.
I mean, you're exactly right. You know, starting off, I've known Ajayi since, you know, 4th grade when I first started off basketball. You know, he just has an amazing work ethic. You know, he works for everything he's gotten. I mean, and he's finally started to get that notice. You see those varsity minutes starting to go up ever since that Lee Summit game where he made a huge impact. You know, fell short. But, I mean, he is just a tremendous player, defensively and offensively.
I do agree. Very core asset to this team.
And, you know, with him getting those varsity minutes, we might only get him for 1 or 2 quarters. You know, you can't be wasting all that time. You know, you only get 6 quarters every single night. And he'll definitely be a big absence for the Nixa Eagles, you know, that defensive and offensive presence. And Republic going to stick with this zone. 2-1-2, you know, they know Nixa likes to get it inside. And right there, just a tremendous shot from Brady Ove. We saw him get going last game against Catholic. You know, I believe he had 20, one of the leading scorers. You know, he's just deadly from off the dribble, from range. If Nixa can finally start getting these 3 balls going, you know, it might force Republic out of this 2-1-2.
I think Republic's really been underrating Nix's 3-point line advantage. Again, as we just scored 2 threes in a row.
Ooh. Maybe a little bit of an announcer's jinx there, but, you know, you're exactly right with the the 3-point ability. You know, if Nixa can start knocking these down, we've seen it a lot. They'll have to come out of the zone and maybe go man. You know, Nixa has a big size advantage. Outside of Fleetwood, it's not a very big lineup. You know, a lot of 6'1", 5'8", 5'10". You know, Nixa can start capitalizing off their size advantage if there's 3 points start falling.
Republic is getting pressed onto their court. Kind of struggling with that a little bit. Republic misses an open basket.
I mean, exactly right. You know, outside of that three ball, they haven't gotten much going offensively. You know, they've been missing some open layups like the Eagles were doing early. They kind of picked it up a little bit, but missing those opportunities. I mean, we see Fleetwood miss a couple of open layups. You know, we just saw another missed opportunity right there, and Public's really going to need to start capitalizing.
Nixa tried to stall the time a little bit there. Got the opportunity to shoot a 3, and they just took it. Make them up by 2 going into the second period. That was a nice first quarter of the game.
And we'll be back after this break. And we are back coming out of the first period break. Now, Tanner, what did you like from Nixa so far?
I really liked their playmaking abilities to find, to get people open, the movement, the passing, the communication was great. And I think it really kind of showed towards the end of the first period, really showing countering Republic's moves and everything like that.
Exactly. I felt like they come out a little bit stagnant, just kind of taking shots early in the possessions, but they really cleaned it up, like you said. Working that ball around a little bit more. They noticed how Republic has a problem with those backside cutters. They rotate people in those dunker spots, and I felt like it really got this Nixa offense going.
I agree, and I think Republic coming into this second quarter, they're really going to need to find a way to counter those 3 points, as Nixa did come back from that score just from 3-pointers, mainly. I think they scored 3.
Exactly.
And Republic just misses the open baskets, just open for them. And I think they might need to work on that, slow things down, find their confidence.
And you're exactly right there. I mean, slowing it down, you'll see them just kind of, Nixa's done a great job of playing at their pace, setting it. They're kind of just swinging this ball around and getting flustered by these Nixa defenders, really getting into them. They'll get that entry pass, but then right there, just a turnover or an errant shot.
Yep. Nixa gets another steal. I think Republic will try and get a charge call there. I think they got it.
What really worked for them in the beginning was, the presence of Fleetwood. Once he came out, their offense came stagnant. As you saw, an impressive layup from Noah Vermeil, but like I was saying, Fleetwood, just such a presence down low that allowed you watch Nixa just completely collapse around him once he gets the ball, and that just opened up that 3-ball for Maverick Baker, who got Republic going early. Just an impressive move from Ajayi right there. Couldn't convert, but something that we'll see from Ajayi a lot is that wingspan. Right there, just being able to put that ball out. Wasn't able to capitalize off of it. Just such a great move.
I agree. Nixa with a good mid-range shot coming from number 23, Cameron Miller.
Something you'll see with these bigger guys from Fleetwood, they don't do a great job of moving their feet. And you see right there, Cameron Miller, definitely a more athletic big man. They have him at 6'4". He does a great job of moving his feet and being able to take these bigger guys to the rim.
Agree. Nixa did just have another great mid-range opportunity, and again, they take it, shoot it with confidence, and it will go in. And I think that's kind of why Nixa's taking another lead here. They're being aggressive on defense, getting the ball back from Republic, kind of putting too much pressure on Republic. I just don't think that they can really handle the pressure that Nixa puts on them.
Exactly. As we were talking about earlier with that 3-ball getting going, they had to move out of that zone that was working so well. And that's going to allow Cameron Miller to start getting going with Fleetwood's inability to move his feet. Maybe just sending everyone to one side and having Cam just take him one-on-one would be very effective.
Eagles replacing Sam.
See Ajayi going to work.
From the Nixa side, you do see very good ball handling and really getting around Republic's defense.
That goes to what we talked about with the matchups. Nixa clearly likes their matchups a lot more, and Republic doesn't. That's why they started out in that zone. They knew Nixa had the advantage with that ball handling skills, with that size. A lot of great people just off the dribble. And that 3-ball getting going is completely just changed up their entire game plan. It's starting to allow Nixa to get going.
I will tell you one thing. One thing that is different from the first period to the second period of this game is that Nixa has been way more able to find more openings through Republic's defense. Even with 2 people on them, they just find a way to pass, to get around it, pass the ball, and they find an opening and they score.
They say all roads lead to Rome. Just going back to that 3-ball getting going, like you just said, they've done a great job of swinging that ball around. That comes with them being able to run that 5-out motion. You'll see them. There's a very athletic and fast team. Just right there, what's completely kept them in this game. I believe it's 15 points just off the 3-ball. And it's just, if Nixa doesn't start getting into them, you can't expect to win a game just playing you know, lackadaisical defense, kind of sitting off and hoping that they miss.
Free throws for Nixa.
And Liddell's someone else who we've seen on that, you know, that varsity side. He comes in, he's a scrappy defender, not the biggest guy, but, you know, he makes up with it with, you know, his fast hands, his quick feet. He does a great job just getting into these defenders and making them uncomfortable.
Throwing them off guard and being able to just give that ball to his teammates who are open with 3, and it's perfect.
Exactly. He's a very selfless player. Excuse me, selfless, not selfish. You know, he's not afraid to, you know, pass up an open shot for something a little bit more high percentage. Like you'll see him catch a ball on an open 3, but there's someone cutting that back side, and he'll just dish that ball in there.
Just like right there.
And right now, you know, Knicks are just staying in that man zone. They have, not man zone, man-to-man defense. They haven't gone to zone at all. They know what they have in their defenders. They're much more athletic than Republic is, and they've so far just Republic not being able to, you know, set those screens. You know, Knicks is doing a great job of talking through these screens, getting over them, and playing in help, and it's completely caused Republic to go stagnant.
I think Republic kind of struggled to find an opening on that court.
I mean, exactly. You know, Nixa being able to talk around those screens, you know, just get over the screens. That's definitely the hardest part. You know, you'll see a lot of these, you know, defenses just break down just because they don't talk enough. And Nixa so far clearly done a great job of that, calling out every screen so that no one's caught off guard.
Bleeding right now? No, is it bleeding right now?
You know, Nixa going back out in that press, we've seen it work very well for, you know, Varsity. That's kind of their bread and butter all year. And honestly, what caused them to start so stagnant in that Webb City game, you know, weren't able to get those turnovers flowing. They play off a lot of momentum. And, you know, when you're just kind of missing a bunch of open opportunities, we saw McCoy struggled a little bit from inside. I believe it was 0 for 8. But, you know, points aren't everything. I felt like McCoy did a great job of not hanging his head. He still, even though he was missing, he wouldn't stop shooting. And that's something you'll see is people just kind of hang their heads and just stop taking those opportunities just because they're a little scared of making a mistake. And McCoy is not one of those players.
Exactly. And even if you do, you know, like your coach decides for you to just stop shooting, like you still be a good teammate on the court just by passing, blocking, being aggressive on defense, helping your teammates score if they are making baskets. Like really anything to do to helping the team can really help you score. And I think that's what we're seeing in this game. We're seeing a lot of passing, communication, screen setting, and it's really showing because Republic is struggling to really counter it. I think that's why they are down by 4.
But credit to the coaching, you know. Coach Scott Miller did a great job so far game planning around Fleetwood. They kind of made him ineffective with, you know, his biggest problem is when he catches the ball, he keep it low. You know, that allows those scrappier, faster guards to get in there and knock that ball out. And we've seen it so many times, and you know, that's gotten him to just be sitting on the bench.
And just like that, Nixa finds another opening to get another shot off.
I mean, just credit to their passing. Like you said earlier, they did a great job of finding those open windows. And you'll see Republic just only going for 3-pointers without Fleetwood. They're completely ineffective on the inside game.
And another good basket for Nixa as they find another big opening right there in the corner. And Nixa just seizes the opportunity to take that 3-point.
Republic with their first points, you know, outside of 3-pointer, I believe since the first period. They've been getting their points almost exclusively from the line, and that's definitely been, you know, something that's hurt them a little bit, not being able to get that ball inside. They're definitely going to have to start being a little bit more aggressive and attacking off that dribble.
Good basket for Republic as they found an opening.
Just again from 3, you know, that's where almost every single one of their baskets come. I believe it's only 6 points have come outside of the 3-point range. You know, 7 threes already. That's definitely not something that stat that you're going to want to see if you're Nixa.
Good point from number 3, Jameis Thornton.
Now, Jameis just, you know, answering it with a 3 of his own. If Nick's going to want to keep up in this game, they're definitely going to have to start keep knocking down these 3-pointers, or they're just going to switch to that 3-2 zone to maybe get into these Republic shooters.
Nixa with a steal. Coming up to the basket, and it is good.
And Miller off to a hot start today, 15 of Nixa's 34. You know, he's definitely taking advantage of the absence of Fleetwood. Just right there, just a 3-point contest almost. I mean, 3 possessions in a row ended in a 3.
Both teams going at it from the 3-point line is what it looks like.
And both these teams are going to have to start getting into shooters. You know, they've both shown that you're going to need to respect that 3-point shot. You know, see right there, you know, both teams have struggled a little bit of communicating. You saw Jai thinking that they were both going the same guy, and that could have left Republic with, I mean, somebody's already hit a 3 today. Cooper Cornelison, I believe. But, you know, with Republic being able to shoot this ball so well, they're going to have to keep communicating, which they've done so well today through those screens, you know. But they're going to have to keep talking, keep figuring out who's guarding who.
Nixa is really good at being able to just go down to the rim, but I just think that finishing that basket is a very good problem for them.
You know, Grady, we saw him be the driving force in that win against Catholic. You know, he got going early, and right there we just see it again. He's so great off the dribble and dangerous in space. If you're a Republic here, you might just want to pass it around for last shot. You know, only 30 seconds left in this half. And you don't want to give Nixa, with their offensive capabilities, the ball back.
Trying to get that last 3-point in for the period ends. And there is something, as they drive into the basket there,
that definitely was something. You know, it's something we haven't seen a lot today as well. Just like we said earlier, they're going to have to start attacking off the dribble. You can't win a game just hoping that you're going to stay hot from 3-point line. We saw that in the Lee Summit game. They got a little bit cold and allowed Nixa to come back. No, and that will end the half. You know, Nixa is struggling a little bit getting into these 3-pointers. I mean, Republic almost scoring exclusively from that 3-point line. I believe they're going to have to draw something up a little bit different. I mean, that man-to-man was working very well in the beginning, but might have to come out something like a 3-2.
Yes, I agree. I think Nixa was struggling a little bit in that second period with 3-pointers and driving, like finishing in the paint a little bit. And I think Republic really showed a lot of point capability in the 3-point line, scoring most of their points on the 3-point line. I think they only had 2 layups in the second period. But Nixa will give Republic something to think about going into this third period.
I think you're exactly right. You know, I think both teams are just going to have to talk about getting into their mans more. You'll see them working, both teams working the ball around real well. And it's opening up, it's causing both teams to kind of make mistakes. You know, you'll see someone just get wide open and you think, just how does that happen? But it comes from great ball movement and a great game plan.
It does indeed.
And we will be back in 9 minutes after the halftime break.
We are back into the Nixa versus Republic game here at Republic.
You know, Nixa, got down early. I believe it was 9-4, something like that. Weren't able to convert very well off their opportunities to start this game. It kind of cleaned it up towards that second period. But if you're Nixa, you're going to want to have to get into those three-point shooters. That's what kept them in the game completely. I mean, if you cut that in half, it's a completely different story. Nixa, we've seen them struggle with it in the varsity games. They're just going to have to start getting into these shooters and closing out a lot faster.
Nixa having some very great defense, hitting it out of Republic's hands, catching them off guard, everything like that. Putting their hands up, they're doing a very good job of that, everything.
Exactly. I think that was definitely a focal point of that halftime speech. You can't let them get that many opportunities from the three-point line because they've shown that they're going to knock it down.
As you just saw, like Nixa they get the opportunity and they take it.
Exactly. And Nixa done a surprisingly great job of getting that three-pointer going. We saw earlier they come out at the 2-1-2, just trying to shut down that middle as Nixa's been able to capitalize off that so well with Cameron Miller just going off the dribble. But with that collapsing, with this three-pointer going again, Spencer being able to knock one down again, they're going to have to completely change this offense, or excuse me, this defense and how they want to play the Eagles.
Republic struggling to find an opening, trying to get a shot off.
You can tell their focal point is trying to get Fleetwood that ball, but Nixa done a great job of rotating around, and right there, as I say that, he gets a good look inside. But with that size and his capabilities around that rim, I mean, he seemingly has pretty good footwork. We see him do some good spin moves. Nixa's definitely gonna have to watch out for him in the second half. And that also goes back to, with their three-pointer going, he might not be as much of a focus as it was in the beginning. We saw everyone kind of swarm around him when he catches the ball. But with that three-pointer going, they might just have a one-on-one with Cam and Fleetwood, and it's going to be interesting to see how that goes down.
It is very good matchup.
Let me see right here.
Another opening for Republic. Kind of fluked the basket first time, but he gets it in. He finds that opening. He gets it in there.
And exactly as we said, with them being more spaced out and trying to stop these three-point shots from going, it's just going to be one-on-one down there. Cam did a good job of stopping him the first time, but it's just so hard with someone that size that kind of bumps you off to, once he has that ball in his hands, it's almost impossible for a second chance when he gets a second chance point. And right there, Grady, had a good move, just couldn't finish. And if you're Nixa, you don't want to come off slow with how, Republic's offense has been going so far. Those three-pointers going now with Fleetwood.
Republic already showing some improvement. We did see them kind of struggle to get it there under the basket and really score some layups, draw some fouls, something like that. It seems like coming out in the second half here, they really improved on that. And I think they talked about that going back to the locker room.
And you'll see Fleetwood pick up another foul. I mean, I was noticing it. I didn't know if they would call it, but he kind of drops his elbow a little bit into Cam, trying to get some space. But Nick's has done a great job of keeping him out this game. Republic's offense is definitely better with him on the floor. That presence inside, being able to get a one-on-one with him and Miller, I mean, almost every single time, it's almost impossible for Miller to stop that. And with him coming out of the game, they're definitely going to have to heavily rely on those three-pointers, which Nick's defense is clearly centered around. Right there, Liddell just kind of lowered his shoulder a little bit. It's okay to make contact, but you can't lower your shoulder like that. You're going to get that call every time.
Someone's going to get hurt.
And we'll see that a lot. Teams, they might not have their feet set, but, if you're just lowering your shoulder, making it obvious, they're going to call it.
Good scoring attempt from Republic down by the basket, showing way more improvement than the last half.
I think you're exactly right. They definitely shied away from just exclusively shooting from the three-point line. They definitely know that that's not a way you should. That's not a recipe for a win. it's exclusively trying to only score from three-point range. And they're trying to work off the dribble a little bit more, get those entry passes we saw when Fleetwood was in the game. And they're doing a great job of just passing, screen away, cutting. And they're giving this Nixa team a run for their money.
Great point from Nixa. Great mid-range. Again, great ball handling, finding those openings, and just deciding when the time is right. They really take that opportunity and seize the moment, kind of scoring that basket and getting right back on defense.
And if you're Nixa, that's the exact player you want taking that shot. Sam Cran, such a threat from mid-range. You'll see him. He's such a long and tall, player. And when he goes up for those mid-ranges, he shoots the ball so high. I mean, he cocks that ball back. It's almost impossible to contest.
It is. As you did see, he did score that mid-range, and he seemed pretty great distance above the player he was.
And exactly. That goes back to just them Republic having to switch to man, even though they're a much smaller team. Nixa, there's multiple guards, and almost everyone's like 6'2", 6'1". I believe the shortest person on the court right now is Liddell, standing at 5'10". That's still a pretty tall player. As you see right there, just Republic getting another three going. But Nixa definitely has that height advantage, especially with Miller down low now that Fleetwood's out. I wonder how. It's interesting to see how they'll take advantage of that.
I think with Fleetwood out, I think they might try and go to the strategy they had the first half and shoot more threes to try and rack up a little bit more points. But I think it might be a little hard for them to find openings, as Nixa kind of countered that in the first half, and I think they already figured it out. So I think they're just going to try and play more defense, maybe put 2 on 1.
No, exactly. Republic hasn't done a great job of forcing turnovers so far. They've just kind of been knocking down those three-pointers, which kept them in the game. But, turnovers win you games. Just being able to win that turnover battle can completely flip the odds in your favor. So far, Nixa's winning that, which has allowed them to be up 7 so far, 46-39.
That is true. I think turnovers do win quite a lot of games. As you get the point to do really anything. You can get the point to draw a foul. Even if it's a close game, you can try and draw a foul. You get open for a 3. You can pass. You shoot a mid-range layup. Really, any shot is good.
And going into drawing fouls and all that good stuff. Just being able to knock down your free throws. Free throws win you games. It's in the game. It's in the name, free throw. It's free. You just have to be able to knock those down. You'll see sometimes games will just be decided by someone not being able to knock down those three-pointers in clutch time. Free throws in clutch time.
Especially if the score is really tied up. Their free throws, again, they're free, not contested.
You'll see teams. I know when I went down to the Mizzou, Florida game, Mark Mitchell was at the line, had a chance to completely put it away, but just missed both free throws. And just that was, I know I was shaking in my boots. I don't know about you, but just seeing them be able to just run down that court, almost get that three ball to fall, I would have been sick if he made that.
Free throw is good for Republic. Missed the first one, but they will make that second one.
And just right there, exactly as we said, you got to be able to knock down those free throws. You're going to need to convert both of them. Good on him to get the second one to go, but you had to start converting both free throws at the line.
That's a hard basket for Nixa to make, but they make it anyway, finding a way past that defense. Getting all nice and high, up over the defense.
And they're such an aggressive team, like you said earlier, with them being able to get that ball down low, they love to do it. That's definitely their strong point. It's why Republic had to play them a little bit differently in the beginning with Cam Miller. We saw him getting going. He's currently out of the game. But with them being such a threat on the inside, Republic definitely has to make that a focal point.
They do have to make that a little bit of a focal point, especially if they want a bigger point differentiation in this game. make it smaller. Because it is a 10-point game right now, and it was pretty close earlier. I just think Nixa is finding more opportunities to score.
And someone we're not seeing the rest of the half, definitely going to prepare for him for a varsity game. It's Mathan Ajayi. Like we said earlier, might only get those 2 quarters, and you know, his impact is definitely being felt so far. He's such a great presence on defense, and he's done a great job of getting into those 3-point shooters. I believe that's kind of what halted Republic from scoring that ball in that second half, or that at the end of that first half.
Great save from Nixa, again, with just aggressive playmaking, making really great plays to help their team.
And exactly, those second chance points, I mean, something that, again, the varsity does so well of. You know, they do a great job of rebounding or forcing turnovers. Someone pulls down that rebound, they'll just get their hands on that ball. And that's what wins you games, those second chance points, being able to get more and more opportunities on one possession.
Exactly, like that save right on Nix's side, like without that save, they wouldn't have made that 3-pointer.
Exactly, those hustle plays will win you games.
Daniel Patel, his third personal. 13 foul.
You're gonna make.
And just right there, the effective Sam Kearns' ability with those long arms. He does a great job of just getting into those defenders and making them uncomfortable.
I do agree. I think making those defenders uncomfortable really We are back going into the 4th period of the Nixa versus Republic game.
a little bit with a lot more pace.
You want me to go run wireless?
For Nix's score.
30-second timeout. Nixa.
You know, if you're Nixa here, you just kind of gotta outlast Republic. I mean, so far they've done a great job of kind of pulling away.
They have, both teams have been doing a very great job on communication and ball control, but I just think Republic struggles to find openings down on their side of the court, with whether it's three-pointers, layups. They are really good at drawing fouls.
And, you know, with them speeding it up, you saw them kind of sometimes get a little loosey with the ball, maybe drop some passes. They're just kind of playing a little bit too fast. You know, there's always a good side to playing with pace, but when you play with too much pace, it can cause you to throw turnovers or just make mistakes.
Exactly, especially when you're tired, you're very choppy, slow. It just looks very unhinged.
And Nixa right there, you just can't have those little mistakes. And lucky for Nixa, they didn't capitalize off of it. But if you're Nixa, you can't bring that ball down. We've seen it with Fleetwood all game. You know, he'll catch it in the post, and he'll just bring that ball right where the Nixa defenders can get it. And right there, Miller kind of did the same thing, just brought it down, and a couple of Tigers could get their hands on that ball.
Exactly. I think Nixa found a great counter to that big man on Republic, as he was scoring a lot of baskets in the third period, and I just think Nixa kind of found the flaw in the big man there and kind of stopped them from scoring for a little bit. And Nixa will make the free throws. Republic's going to have to show a little bit more aggressive plays if they really want to come up and try and make the score close coming into Nixa. Great ball movement and passing among their teammates, but it's just not enough finishing for Republic. It's not been the greatest in this game today. Good three-point attempt from Nixa, and they get the rebound, looking for another opening. And Republic will find an opening to make a three.
And if you're Nixa, you know, that's given you so much trouble all game. They've definitely cleaned it up in the second half, but you can't let them go back to that three-point shot. You know, that's just such a momentum killer. You'll see teams just be down, you know, be on like 8-0 runs, and they just, you know, hang in their head. They have 1-3 and they're back up. They're very springy. You know, you can't let the Tigers get any momentum at this point in the game.
I do agree. I think making after that three-pointer, I think it really boosts their confidence. And maybe that situation will happen for Republic here, try and come back up for Nixa.
Exactly. You know, Republic is likely to come out into a press. I believe Coach Miller realizes that and is going to draw something up for that. But if you're Republic, you have to get some pressure into these Eagles. You know, so far tonight, they haven't done a great job of forcing turnovers, and that's definitely hurt them late in this game. Excuse me, not even late. It's 5 minutes left. Anything can happen. It's anyone's game. But if you're Republic, you're going to have to start putting some pressure on those ball handlers and start forcing some turnovers and build off some momentum.
Yes, I agree. I think Republic's going to have to show a lot of aggressive defense to kind of try and counter Nix's scoring capabilities. I think Republic will also have to try and find a way past Nix's defense.
That was a ball, bro.
I mean, exactly. Knicks have been swarming these these Tigers all night. And you'll see Miller just having such a great game. 18 so far. He's definitely been the leader of this Nixa team. We saw him get his first varsity minutes in Webb City. He actually got a bucket. You know, when Colt McCoy was getting in that foul trouble, he might become one of those people kind of like a Jai coming off from JV and just proving themselves, getting more and more minutes. But so far, he's had a great game.
Yes, I think a lot of these players have improved over the year, whether it's defense, offense, especially for Cameron, you know. Like getting a varsity bucket for him is crucial. It's crucial.
Exactly. We've definitely seen a lot of people taking that next step and moving up to varsity. We talked about Matthew Ajayi. Jalen Liddell even plays a little bit up there. We've seen Grady Ove, who also is having a great game. But we've just seen so many people from JV get moved up to varsity and giving them their shot. And so far, they've capitalized off of it. You know, Ajayi slowly making that rotation. We saw him play the entire second half of Webb City. And, I mean,
whoa! Yes, and not even some of the JV players, even the freshman players, like you see Keon, you see Peyton Cook.
Yeah, you'll see.
Caleb.
We saw that in the blue and gold. You know, Peyton Cook got his first varsity bucket. I mean, a three-pointer. I believe that was his only bucket of the game. But you know, it's just great to see these players getting their opportunities in that big-time role and capitalizing off of it.
That is a big deal for them.
Oh my God! Let's go, Chase Bank.
You'll hear some passionate fans, you know, getting into it.
And that is a great point attempt from Nixa. They get the rebound, and they put that point on the board.
And Miller again. He's just been dominant, even with Fleetwood being, you know, the bigger guy. He was able to take him to the rim, and then with him, he's definitely taking advantage of his absence as well. You know, Republic outside of Fleetwood doesn't have a lot of size to this team, and no one's been able to match up well with Miller.
They haven't. Like, Republic sends that big guy down there, and again, it's the size difference, and size really matters in this game of basketball, I think. As we see from points that have been scored, like mid-ranges, they score over that defender by a lot of distance.
You know, right there, Cam trying to take advantage of what he's been working all night. Couldn't get to go. Good defense from Republic. But if you're Miller, you want to keep taking that shot. He's done a great job of, you know, asserting his will in the paint. And right there, if you're Republic, you want to slow it down. You know, it wasn't a bad shot, but there was definitely a better one that you could have found if you just worked it around a little bit more. And so far, we're seeing Nixa pull away because of that. You know, you'll see a lot of people just kind of chuck up a shot, trying to be the hero, trying to get that one bucket that just puts them back in the game. But that's not how you should be trying to win games. You know, you should be trying to play as a team more, not just trying to be the hero.
Exactly. I think one thing I've seen through this game is Cameron Miller. You know, he's leading scorer through this JV game, and he's made a lot of great accomplishments this year. You know, improving in basketball, and he recently committed to TCU for baseball.
Exactly. That's crazy. I mean,
just very big accomplishment for him.
You know, such a versatile athlete. You'll see him play multiple sports. I don't believe he plays football anymore, but I know he did. You know, he's very involved. He's a very athletic guy, and he's definitely been the best player on the floor tonight for the Eagles. And right there, just again abusing it.
Again, yep. It's like Republic. I don't know why they just don't play defense for Cameron Miller. Like, he's just gonna keep scoring those buckets. He's gonna keep getting those opportunities.
Exactly. They definitely haven't given him the Fleetwood treatment that Nixa has given him. They just kind of keep letting him go one-on-one. We've seen with Fleetwood getting that ball in. You know, they'll just kind of swarm him and put multiple people down there, just try to get the ball out of his hands. But no one's, so far, Republic has not adjusted.
See, Nixa did a very great job there on defense, kind of pushing Republic, pressuring them, even down there by the basket.
And we'll see. You know, Nixa throwing in people like Jacob Hackley, Landon Stafford, and Jameis coming in the game. You know, somebody like Jacob Hackley, he's so dangerous off the dribble, you know. You know, the fans are really getting into it. You know, it's definitely a fan favorite. But, you know, if he sees one drop, I mean, his potential is limitless.
Especially if he gets open for a shot. You don't want to leave him open for a shot.
Exactly.
And even if you don't, like, he has really great ball handling, and he can just get right past his defender.
But, you know, Hackley, he uses his body really well. You'll see him hit these fadeaways. He's got a lot of confidence once he gets it going. And it'll be interesting to see how they run their offense through him.
I agree. And once he's hot,
he is
hot.
I mean, there's no slowing Jacob Hackley down once he starts hitting those threes.
There's not. He hits the threes, and he just keeps banging them up.
And we'll see him go to timeout. It'll be interesting to see if they draw something up to maybe get him the ball in his hands. He's so dangerous off the dribble, dangerous in the offensive game. And also in the paint, you know, he does a great job of using that size inside and asserting his will.
I think Nixa is kind of coming in with a new game plan.
And you'll see Hackley passing it in. And right there, you know, it's such a tough bucket from Logan Stevens. I mean,
great bucket. And again,
way to go up strong, you know. And, you know, not just that, you know, I was going to say before, you know, I accidentally muted myself. I mean, just the confidence from Hackley to throw that in, you know, just him being able to take charge and just take that burden onto himself. You know, that just really shows the type of player he is. He's definitely a leader. He's not afraid to just be the person that does the dirty work. And right there, Hackley gets the rebound and just couldn't get it to fall, but, you know, just a very aggressive player. Fans really getting into it for him. You know, he's just such a great player, such a selfless guy.
Yes, I do agree, you know. Ball handling, even with the confidence in his shot, even if he doesn't make it, he gets right back on defense, tries to get that steal.
And Hackley with the ball, you know, you might see him get shifty here and just
Jacob with a great pass, but Logan just I just don't think he was fast enough to get to that ball, and Republic kind of hit it out of there.
Definitely a little bit of a miscommunication right there, you know. And you'll see them call a timeout. You know, Nixa. And we are back. You know, Jacob so far in this game, you know, doing a little bit of a turnover. But definitely, I mean, just again, being the guy that's going to throw that ball in, he's definitely not afraid to be the leader.
Again, seeing some players that we haven't usually seen in the game too much. He's landed.
Exactly. We saw him get going. I mean, he got his first varsity dunk against, or excuse me, JV dunk, end game dunk actually against Catholic. He really is such an athletic player. He's got sneaky athleticism, being able to get up there and just slam that ball down.
He is. You know, I don't know why they don't play him that much, especially if he's dunking out there. Like,
exactly. Just someone of his size, you think they play a little bit more, but you know, credit to Coach Miller and his coaching today. Definitely came away with the win. He did a great job of just adjusting to that three-point shot that was going so well for Republic. And you know, he just does a great job of coaching up his players. From the time I played with him, you know, he's just, if you make a mistake, he's not the type to just pull you for it. He'll definitely, and right there, it's Jacob Hackley with an amazing steal. I mean, you can't ask for much more on the defensive side.
And Hackley loses some control of the ball, back door.
And right there, just a great pass from Hackley, couldn't convert. But you know, he's such a selfless player. You'll see right there, he had his opportunity to go for that signature fadeaway that he has, but was able to dump it off. Good look for Rennie, just couldn't get it to convert.
Great steal from Nixa.
And right there, that sneaky athleticism for Landon. You know, you see him walking out there. You know, you wouldn't think of him as someone that would be very fast, but he is. He's a pretty fast guy for his size. He's very athletic. And again, Republic from three. They're still playing, sticking with that pressure.
Yes, they've been good with that all night. Just relentless threes, and I think Nixa really struggles to kind of put together a defense to really counter the three-point making.
But it might be a little bit too little, too late. You know, they're finally bringing that aggression, but it's when Nixa has all of their starters out. And this game seeming to be over. Nixa's going to come away with the victory here.
I agree. 15 seconds on the clock. I think they're just going to try and stall a timeout. Oh, Republic puts pressure on him. If Nixa turns their back.
Now Thornton just didn't think that they'd be playing defense. And
I agree. Just kind of turned his back there in Republic. I don't know, just trying to get another point off before it ends. that will earn them some free throws, so I don't think they can complain.
I mean, it is the end of the game, though. I feel like they might just want to let that run out there. But Nixa will come away with the victory, 63-54. Oh, excuse me, it was a three-pointer. Might have, excuse my language.
This is a big win for Nixa's JV.
63-55, excuse me, but that will be it. Nixa comes away with a big victory over Republic here.
That is true. I think this was a very good game for both teams today. Both showed great offensive capabilities and showed very great defense. And I think it was just a lot of hustle put into the game and a lot of commitment.
Exactly. They did a great job of working that ball around all game. You know, and credit to Coach Miller being able to adjust at halftime. I mean, it looked like it would have been a lot closer of a game. But without him being able to adjust to that three ball going, switching up that defense a little bit, getting a couple different people in the game, trying to just figure out what worked, and a lot of them come away with the victory.
And you got to give credit to the coach, man, like for putting out such a great team like that, making such great plays, and just really countering Republic's offensive capabilities.
Exactly, you know, and credit to him for giving those people that don't get a lot of chances in the game. You know, we saw people like Jacob Landon come in the game, and they made some impact plays. You saw some good passing from Jacob Hackley. Had one little error pass, maybe a miscommunication right there, but, you know, just giving those people that opportunity to prove what they have.
Yes, and even from Mathen, like you see great plays from Mathen in the beginning of the game, you know, almost having 10 points in the first period.
Exactly, and then he had to, you know, sit, because we talked about how his varsity minutes have completely skyrocketed. I mean, he's a huge piece of this Nixa team. And it'll be interesting to see maybe a starting spot for him today. I mean, who knows, but
it can happen.
Exactly.
It can happen. I mean, especially the stats he's been putting in this varsity game. Like, he's really just that piece of the puzzle.
You know, we'll see with a lot of defenders they'll throw in this game, like Braylon, Jalen. Although great quick defenders, not as big of a guy as Mathen would be, and he does a better job of, you know, getting into these bigger defenders and forcing turnovers with those long arms.
Yes. I do agree. And we will see you guys
in this varsity game in here in 13 minutes. I'm Evan Brett, alongside my partner Tanner Cole. And we say, see you later.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Republic High School in Republic, Missouri. We got a classic matchup here in the COC. It's the Nixa Eagles taking on the Republic Tigers. At Republic, I'm Brady Richard alongside my partner, Evan Brett. Evan, I am excited for this game tonight. What really has turned into a rivalry between these two schools in the past 2 years. And, you know, usually in that football side, but definitely has leveled up in basketball as well.
Exactly. You know, Nixa started off the season great so far. You know, they've done a great job of just asserting their will downstairs. You know, Adam McKnight have just been so lethal on that inside. So Adam recently hit that 1,000-point mark. He's just been the main factor offensively this season. And
excuse me, sorry, I unmuted the wrong thing.
I was going to say, I didn't feel like I was talking.
Evan was talking for a smooth 30 seconds. That's my bad. Anyway, Evan, just repeat your spiel you were saying before I realized.
But, you know, Nick's has done a great job of just working that ball down offensively. Just their main man downstairs, Adam McKnight, recently hit that 1,000-point mark. You know, such a coveted, you know, record. Excuse me, not record. Something to get in high school is just such a hard thing to do. Milestone. Thank you. But something that they could go back to again this game, which they had a little bit of trouble last game against Webb City. You know, Colt McCoy just couldn't get it going, but he contributed other ways. But, you know, Nixa definitely has a size advantage here. The tallest players we saw in that JV game, Grayson Fleetwood, you know, he has good footwork, but his biggest problem for him is he just keeps that ball too low to the ground. You know, he'll catch the ball inside and then just get it down low, and Nixa capitalized off of that by getting their hands in there and just forcing turnovers. But if you're Nixa, you know, you're going to have your hands full with someone like Kieran Govan. He's such an athletic and, you know, strong guard. He does a great job off the dribble and just getting inside.
Kieran Govan, that's the guy to look at for Republic tonight. Him along with Brody Blades. He's a great three-point shooter. But Govan is the point guard. He runs that offense. He's a star player in football as well. But that's, you know, definitely can't shoot that part of this game. He needs to work on. But that his ability to penetrate inside and kick it out for someone like Blades, who can knock that, like AJ Poole, who can knock that three-pointer down, is very valuable to this team.
Exactly. You know, Nick's definitely going to have to do a good job of getting out on these shooters. We see someone like Brody Blaze. You know, once he gets going, I mean, he doesn't stop. Well, he sees one drop, and he starts getting hot from three-point land. But exactly as you said, Kieran just a very strong offensive weapon. You know, you know, you might be able to throw someone fast on him, but you can't keep someone like that on him because he's just so big and strong. He'll just assert his presence down low on you, just start backing you down if you throw someone like Jalen or Owen. So maybe someone like Mathan Ajayi, we've seen him come in, get a lot more minutes off this bench, you know, some from JV. You know, he's a much bigger defender, but he does a great job of just using those long arms and getting in there on defense.
Yeah, something to look out for. You know, it's kind of hard to hear you.
Yeah, this band.
So I've been leaning in, but you know, something the size advantage definitely. McKnight and Colt McCoy. It feels like Nixa has been going against the size a lot this season, but 2 6'4" guys, not a lot of size there on Republic's side. So, you know, looking down this varsity roster, they got one guy that's 6'7", but he played mostly in the JV game, so he more than likely coming off the bench. But we are just underway here at Republic High School. National anthem coming up, starting lineups, and then we will get rolling in here in no time. So stay tuned. Tip off in just a few moments.
6'4" junior, number 21, Adam McKnight.
There are your Eagles starters, the usual ones for Nixa, Braylon Smith up there. You know, we saw a lot of Mathen Ajayi last game. At near the second half, Ajayi took Smith's, I would say, role there near the end. But Smith getting the starting spot today.
Exactly. You know, it just depends on the matchups, how everything's going. You know, if you need someone a little bit more faster on that press, someone that can get their hand on the ball a little bit quicker, you're going to go with Braylon Smith. But, you know, later down this line, you might have to see someone like Mathen Ajayi. You know, Logan Preston also coming off that bench. You know, there's bigger defenders coming in to try to handle Kieran Govin. And that's something we've seen a lot of this season, you know, them rotating those guards in and out. You saw, especially when Owen Sykes is playing now, even more with his absence, you know, who's going to step up with that three-point ability? We've seen Logan Preston knock down a few. You know, Mathen Ajayi and Braylon Smith definitely can get that going. But it'll be interesting to see who steps up and secures that starting role, as it's kind of been up in the air since Sykes' absence.
Sure, they're definitely, you know, both with the idea to win, their teammates. They're not against each other, but both would definitely enjoy that starting spot. AJ Ewell is jumping for Republic. Colt McCoy for Nixa. Ewell is 6'5".
And I don't believe Colt's lost a tip all season. We'll see if that trend continues, and it does.
And it does there. Eagles win the toss, and Smith will bring it down for Nixa, leading the charge. McKnight driving inside. They've got Govan guarding him.
And I feel like that's definitely a great matchup with Govan's, you know, physicality. Such a strong player, you know, not. I mean,
and you know, McKnight and Govan know each other. They played basketball
all their life.
Yeah,
you know,
growing up together.
Played same AAU team, I believe.
Yeah. So they definitely know each other well. Flint gets a good move inside on Trenton Coleman or TD Coleman. They call a foul or a travel on Randy. Excuse me.
You know, something that could be a big factor here is the crowd. You see Republic student section already getting into it. And Nixa likes to feed off the crowd. They like to feed off that momentum when they get things going. And, you know, Nixa's student section definitely going to have to get loud here if they want to start giving the team that energy.
The first true away game for the Eagles this season. All games they've played have been neutral or at home. Corralled in by McKnight under the basket. Good defense from McCoy. Kellis steps into the first three of the game and buries it from beyond the arc.
And that's someone you don't want to get going if you're, or don't want to let get going if you're Republic. We saw him last game, was just, I mean, the best scorer on the floor. I mean, got hot early, was able to knock down those threes, which they were struggling with in that first half. You know, I believe they started 1 for 9, and the only three that they had was ties. And then that second half, he came out, banged 2 threes, and, you know, they just kind of got hot from there.
Flint with the left hand inside, banks it off the glass for 2. Blades had a nice, pretty jumper.
And, you know, Republic's definitely going to have to focus on, you know, that down low, you know, presence that they have with McKnight and McCoy. That could open up those lanes like Randy and Braylon Smith working off the dribble to be able to get in the inside and get those easy layups.
Blades trip driving inside. Eagles coming the other way. Skip pass. Smith driving in from the corner. Flips it up, and it's too strong. Didn't quite get the angle there. They're going to call a foul, I believe.
I mean, it looks easy, but that is definitely a tough shot. You know, with not being able to see the backboard there,
you can just,
you just kind of put it up a little bit too hard.
Kind of have to flip it back almost, so it goes right up and in. Crazy.
But so far, both teams coming out in man. They definitely like their matchup so far. You know, they're not afraid to just get into these defenders and make them try to beat you just one-on-one.
Here's Govan, guarded by McCoy. McCoy rises up and blocks Govan inside. Smith going the other way. Good skip over to Colt. Colt can't hit both layup attempts. He was cold last game, was 0 for 5 from the field, and Baird misses his first 2 attempts as well.
But Nixa definitely, you know, swarming Govan when he gets inside. You know, that's where he likes to get. That's definitely a strong suit of his game, and we'll just see McKnight and McCoy just waiting for that. I mean, an impressive block from McCoy right there.
McCoy makes the first free throw. Eagles jumping out to a 6-2 lead. You see them guarding Govan on defense, kind of near near the paint, free throw line area. They're not going to step out on him, so that forces other people to go do something. You see McCoy standing inside.
And that's something I heard Coach Blanchett talk about a lot in that Rogers trip when he was watching film. They talked about how you don't really need to come out and go because that three-pointer is definitely not a strong suit of his game. And so it'll be interesting to see how they play him going on to this game. You know, they have McCoy just kind of sitting back, waiting for him to go into him, and it could give Govan some trouble.
It's Flint. Head on for Nixa. Top of the arc. Over to McKnight. McKnight hop steps and stripped by Govan. Ball near midcourt. Just bounces right into Flint's hands, and then he tries to pass over to McKnight, and it's off his fingertips out of bounds. So weird series there, but it's going to be Tiger basketball heading the other way.
You know, just a lot of turnovers right there. I didn't think McKnight thought he was going to get the ball right. I mean, you know, a good pass from Randy, just a little bit too hot off his fingertips. But, you know, Nixa likes to play in that transition right there. You couldn't capitalize off of it. But if you're Republic, you got to limit those turnovers because that's Nix's best part of their game, playing fast and forcing turnovers.
Coleman tries it over. Double team now by Kellis and Smith. To Govan and stripped away by Braylon Smith. Smith going up for the layup, just too strong off the backboard. Good defense from Govan, running into McCoy, and they're going to get McCoy for a shove down low.
And Nixa so far done a great job of just shutting down this Republic offense. Now with them, the way they're playing Govan, it's definitely not allowed him to work off the dribble as well as he has in the past. And they've come out with a great game plan to just kind of slow down this Republic offense.
Govan to set things in motion. Inbound to Uhl, and it's off his knee, out of bounds. McKnight was smothering him near this on the far sideline, right in front of the Nixa student section. And it will be Nixa basketball. Flint setting the table to a curling Kellis. McCoy spins through the lane, and noticing these officials letting these boys play tonight.
I mean, that, in my opinion, it's almost better than just calling everything. Just let them play. Let them. They're gonna have to finish through contact clearly, which they struggled with a little bit last game.
He tried to get it into Smith, and Blades gets in there, tries to steal it, but it'll be out of bounds on him.
If you're Nixa, you're just gonna have to keep swinging that ball around. We saw it work earlier when they start swinging that ball around. This defense really opens up. They're running just an old-fashioned man defense, just get into the ball carrier. And then we saw Ty Kellis get a three going early. I mean, he was completely wide open. I mean, if they just kind of take their time, slow it down, work this ball around, it could be more beneficial.
Handoff to the jump shooter, and it's good from Jim Villasica.
And that's something that Nixa struggled with all season, We saw it in the Webb City game a little bit when they weren't able to knock down any three-pointers. Webb City got hot. You do not want to let this team start getting going for three. They have a lot of great shooters with Blaze. And we saw
Kellis loses the ball, and they're going to get a travel called before. So it would have been a turnover either way for Nixa. Kellis just losing his footing, and we see Ajayi come into this game early here. 3:20 left in the first for Braylon Smith.
Definitely going to want to get someone in there that's a little bit longer, someone who can get into those shooters a little bit better. That's what we saw them do with Webb City when they were knocking down that three-point shot. They threw Ajayi in there with those long arms. And he does a great job of getting around screens and getting into defenders on that three-point shot.
Govan going right into Kellis through the contact, but he can't finish off the rim. Brought down by the Eagles. Flint heading the other way, working on Govan at the helm. Ajayi in the corner. McKnight trying to post up Uhl down low. We've seen a couple entries to him. Flint good, splitting the defense there, and kisses it off the glass for two.
And Nixa's definitely going to want to get that going with them kind of focusing on McKnight and McCoy down low. Whenever they catch the ball, they kind of all collapse around him. Someone like Randy could just get off the dribble, which he's done so well all season, and get hot.
Ajayi smothering defense on Villasica. He has to pass it over to Uhl. Dual guarded by McKnight, over to Blades. Blades tries a three-pointer over Flint, too strong. And it'll be McCoy and off the back iron. Flint into McKnight, spinning, goes up through the contact, and it's good for McKnight off the finger roll, and the Republic Tigers will be forced to call a timeout with 2:03 left in the first quarter. Nixa leads by 6.
You know, if you're Republic, you're going to have to try to figure out a way to stop, you know, the Brazeal McCoy. Also, Randy coming up that dribble. You know, you saw him get almost wide open. They're just all kind of shifting over to McKnight whenever, you know, they see the ball even near him. They're going to have to draw something up to stop that Nixa offense.
So this timeout is brought to you by Elite HVAC 417, providing the Ozarks with honest, dependable heating and cooling service. From seasonal tune-ups to full system installs, Elite HVAC 417 keeps your home running efficiently and comfortably all year long. When your comfort's on the line, trust the Elite team. So Govan will lead the charge here for Republic out of the timeout. Gives it over to Blades. And see, not even thinking about the three-pointer. We're just going to leave him. Blades wants that three-pointer, though, and he will connect from deep, way beyond the three-point line. Brody Blades, that's his 5th point of the game, 5 out of the 8 for Republic. Flint coming the other way.
And if you're Republic, that's someone you're gonna want to get going. You know, I remember my time playing basketball that freshman year. I mean, he killed us with, I believe he had 30 just off the three-pointer. He's such a great three-point shooter, and that's definitely a strong suit.
Govan driving in on, or Kellis, excuse me. Foul is called. That'll be Kellis' first of the game.
And so far, you know, Nick's done a great job of shutting down Govan. You know, he likes to get inside, and throwing someone like McCoy on there, such a strong defender. And, you know, you'll see, you know, Govan kind of extend that arm a little bit, you know, push him just a little bit, using that strength. But with someone like McCoy on him, it's so much harder to move someone, honestly, who's stronger than you are. So he's going to have to try to adjust to that.
Govan, second free throw goes. So the 2-point lead for Nixa. Flint coming down the court. McCoy in the corner now. Eagles have been working around the arc a lot so far this game, getting maybe one inside touch possession.
And so far, I feel like Republic's done a great job at just limiting those inside looks.
Ajayi inside, just too short on the 2-point attempt. Blades steps into another three, same spot, too strong. Ajayi with the rebound, gives it off for Flint. Flint gets the foul drawn on Govan. And that'll be Republic's second foul of the quarter.
And with them not getting a lot of inside touches, their offense is a little stagnant right now. You know, they're having to lie a little bit more off the dribble than they're used to, a lot more working it around that outside instead of, you know, that usual just inside pass and letting McKnight and McCoy go to work.
Here's McKnight inside. They get that touch. He goes up and finishes over Braxton Lundberg. He came into the game. A little bit of a mismatch for McKnight.
And just as I said right there, they need to work that ball inside a little bit more, and it works to perfection. And McKnight with such great touch around that rim. He's so dangerous.
Public chewing the clock. Down to 10 seconds left in the first. Nixa leads 13-9. Republic trying to cut into that here. Go out of the court with momentum, and it's poked away by McCoy. Ball on the ground, up to McKnight. McKnight from half, off the top of the backboard. And that's still, though, I mean, if you're Nixa, you're happy with that defensive possession there.
Exactly. I mean, great job from McCoy to get his hand on that ball, not allowing them to end the quarter with any momentum with the potential bucket. And then the hustle play right there, just to dive on that, get on the ground and really get after that ball and be able to get a last-second shot up.
13-9, Eagles lead by 4 over the Tigers here after 1, and Republic, Missouri. We'll be back in just a moment. second quarter action coming here in just a moment. Kellis passes it in for the Eagles, and Flint will be here near half court. Nixa up by 4 after 1. Ajayi throws a turnover there.
And Republic going with a similar formula to that JV game, kind of running a 2-1-2-ish, maybe a little bit of a 3-2. But they're trying to swarm the person that gets the ball into that high post area. You'll see a lot of times they'll either have McCoy down low and McKnight up top, or just switch it around. But they'll get that entry pass in there, and that's when Nix's offense is at its best.
Flint bags the board, going on the other end now in transition. Cross-court pass, no, it's taken by Cutting Ajayi, and I think he thought he had someone behind him, just kind of throws it away.
Yeah, just a
and
little bit
Ajayi will come out of the game.
Just a little bit of a miscommunication right there, you know. Thought he had his guy behind him, and McCoy thought it something different.
Chase Connell with the ball in the corner is Villasica. High post, kicks it out. Back to Govan near the top of the arc. Still with McCoy on him. Nixa in a zone.
And exactly right when you said
Republic
about
just working this ball around here right now. Nixa, though, keeping them behind the arc. So seems like Republic needs to try to get something inside.
Exactly. We're switching to that 3-2. I mean, just trying to limit that three-point game that's kind of kept them in it.
Stolen away by McKnight. Eagles got a 3-on-1 in transition. McKnight Euro stepping through the lane. Connell rose up with him, but fouled him before blocking him. So McKnight will head to the free throw line.
But as you were saying, you know, they're doing a great job of working it around, but Nixa just keeping them outside of that paint. That painted areas where they like to go to work, with Goban kind of getting inside there. But with Republic getting hot from 3, they had to switch to that 3-2, and they've done a great job of limiting shots from Republic.
McKnight off on the first free throw. Has improved definitely this year, but they're just off the mark. Second one off the back rim as well, and it'll be corralled down by Villasica. So McKnight 0 for 2 from the line. Eagles empty possession.
And right there, give credit to the Republic student section. I mean, it's very tough when you have, you know, 40 people just screaming at you at that free throw line.
Govan tried to kick it out for Villasica, and it's thrown away by Kellis. Oh, McKnight was cutting there. I thought he was going to go.
That's exactly what I was
try to slam it home, but too high of a pass for McKnight from Kellis.
You know, so far, Nixa forcing those turnovers, getting those opportunities, just not being able to capitalize off of them. We'll see some missed layups, you know, missed free throws, some McKnight. But Nixa, they're a very similar story to what happened in that Webb City game. Just kind of got cold offensively.
Three-pointer good from Jen Villasica, and that makes it a 1-point game here. Nixa able to hold on to their lead. Republic fighting back. Flint, top of the key, driving inside on Blades. Pivoting, finds Kellis outside. Working inside the paint again, fadeaway 2, can't fall. McKnight secures the rebound though, puts up a fadeaway jumper, and it can't go either. Foul called on Flint after.
And so far, Nixa, you know, they're getting those looks. I mean, like I was saying, very similar to this Webb City game. They'll get those looks, just can't capitalize. And so far, you get that second chance point. You need, they can't get anything to go so far.
Eagles coming out in a press. Govan splitting defenders.
And that press has been the thing that's gotten their offensive going. I mean, you'll see them come out in that third quarter, and just third quarter's their game. That's when they really start putting distance in. But like that press can really get a stagnant offense moving.
AJ over. I believe that was McKnight down low. So Republic takes a 1-point lead now, almost halfway through the second quarter. It was a low-scoring first quarter for sure. Preston, corner 3, just rattles in and out. You know, he's gotten very unlucky lately, Preston. Has not been able to get one to fall. He was pretty hot in that Rogers tournament, but ever since then, a lot of his shots have just been going in and out.
And I believe that the last shot he took in that Webb City game was the same result. Just rolled around that rim twice and just couldn't get to go.
Flint finds Preston in the transition, and that's an easy layup for Logan Preston on the reverse.
And right there, if you're pressing, great way to get back and just be aware of, you know,
what's going on.
Yeah, what your point guard's doing. And I mean, Flint, great pass, just perfectly putting it in his hands.
Govan can't finish the floater. He got McCoy in the air, but missed the second attempt. Foul called on McCoy. That's his second.
And Nixa these past 2 games has just come out kind of flat. You'll see them miss these open layups, you know, miss free throws, the open shots they normally would make, just kind of coming off a little slow.
Free throw falls for Kieran Govan, his second point of the game. All free throws for him. And Trenton Coleman will come back into the game for Republic. All tied up here. Govan's free throw can put them ahead 1. I remember these two teams playing at Nixa last year. I call that game with Brady Retone. You know, very active environment there. And here, I mean, I'm seeing the same thing at Republic High School. Just, you know, Nixa's gym feels bigger. But other than that, you know, these guys used to that environment, though. I mean, sure, Republic's feeding off of it.
Exactly, as you said in the pregame, how they kind of built a little bit of a rivalry. We're definitely seeing it here with the student section getting very active. And it's definitely, you know, been a big factor in this game, getting this Republic Tigers off, like, just team going. It's giving them a lot of, you know, energy and momentum, and both teams clearly love to play off that energy. You know, especially as a team like Republic, you know, hearing from some of their players, you know, just not living up to the season that they've wanted so far. They're 7-4, definitely thought they're a lot better, but, you know, sticking with Nixa now, I mean, they are right in this ball game. Kellis spin fade. Oh, he got that to fall. Yeah. It's a hard shot there from Kellis. It just seems like a bunch of empty possessions for the Eagles so far. You know, you're getting the good shots, you're getting the shots you want, they just can't seem to fall. But as you're saying, with, you know, them not being off to the season they might have thought they would be,
a win over Nixa tonight would definitely jumpstart them.
I mean,
they lost a heartbreaker to Glendale.
And it's just, you know, a lot of just unlucky opportunities for Republic. But you're exactly right. With a win over a team like Nixa, who's been, you know, kind of at the top of their game so far, it'd be huge down the stretch.
Kellis can't knock down the three-pointer. McKnight, aggressive down low, spins open for the bucket.
And I think that's something they've been missing. You know, McKnight, 6 points so far, but they just haven't been able to get that ball inside. And credit to Republic on that defense. They're completely swarming around, you know, that painted area, and it's limited Nixa in this offense.
Slater Howard finds Govan.
And Nixa seemingly switching to a 2-3. You know, maybe trying to limit their inside capabilities.
Eagles in a 2-3. Republic holding the ball here outside the arc. Inside now, Govan kicks it out for Howard. In the corner off TD Coleman's hands and out of bounds to Nixa basketball. Here, if Nixa can start going on a run, you know, this, you know, kind of where they hone into their self. Yeah, you know, they pick it up, they hone in, and last game, 10-0 run, starting at the end of the second, going into the third, helped them win the game over Webb City. So we'll see what they do here. Minute and a half left in the second.
And something to attribute to that is they finally started getting, you know, McKnight going and Ty Kellis going. You saw him hit a big three, and all of a sudden the momentum just completely switches.
Definitely Republic, though, breaking the press, coming the other way. Slater Howard guarded by Presson.
And you're seeing them, you know, definitely putting a lot of pressure on the ball handler, trying to force those turnovers.
Jin Villasica wanted Govan inside into the hands of Presson, and he's fouled just shy of midcourt. So Nixa basketball now. They've on a 4-0 run right now.
And credit to Preston right there, being aware where the ball was at. I mean, when I saw Smith come around, make a great play on the ball, I didn't think he'd even notice the ball was there. But I mean, way to just get that ball in your hands and draw the foul.
Yeah, and Preston's went and done nothing but play good defense. He had that one transition bucket. just playing smart tonight, not throwing the ball away.
Not trying to do too much.
Yeah.
He's doing a great job so far, just playing his role, being a good defender, and then also a great three-point threat.
Flint pull up 3 off the back rim, and foul called on him. Blades trying to get around him. I think he stole that one a bit. Not a lot of contact there.
And that's something we've seen a lot of this season. Flint getting into foul trouble. He definitely likes to gamble a lot on his steals and the way he plays defense, and that can get you into foul trouble. And if you're a Republic, that's someone you're going to want to target. You see him coming out probably, for the rest of the half. It's only 50 seconds left, but you're going to want to try to get Flint in foul trouble with, the impact he has for the Nixa team.
.37 seconds left in the first half. Vilsica with the ball in no man's land.
The Republic might just try to get final shot, go in the half with momentum.
Smith, though, playing an aggressive defense all up in him. Don't want to just hold the ball, but it looks like they will.
Nixa sticking with this 2-3. They're bringing Preston up to that ball handler, just trying to get him into this defender, not let them get a shot they want.
Vilsica with 5 seconds left. Corner, Brody Blades, three-pointer, good from the far corner. And that is how the first half will end. Electric play from Brody Blades, nails the three-pointer. That's his second of the game, and that sends us into halftime. Nixa holding a 1-point lead.
Exactly. That's exactly how you want to end that half. I mean, a big-time 3 to get that momentum going. And if you're Nixa, you can't really let them hold the ball there. We saw them kind of let them dribble it out a little bit. You got to get into those defenders and just not let them get the shot they want. And, credit to Republic right there, just working that ball around, just being patient and getting the shot they wanted with Brody Blaze.
19-18, Republic hanging on here, down by 1 against the Nixa Eagles. We'll be back in just a few moments for second half action. Halftime coming up in just a moment. We want to say halftime tonight is brought to you by Smoke and Sizzle, Nixa's go-to destination for premium barbecue supplies, smokers, grills, rubs, sauces, and more. Whether you're mastering brisket or firing up a weekend cookout, Smoke and Sizzle has everything you need to bring the heat. Nixa leads Republic by 1 going into half. We'll be back in just a moment. everyone. We welcome you back to Republic High School in Republic, Missouri. It's the Nixa Eagles taking on the Republic Tigers. Nixa leads by 1 currently going into the second half. And, you know, this is a game that definitely Republic has hung in there, but they have been struggling shooting from the field. 2 for 10 from inside the arc. I mean, they've made more 3-pointers than 2-pointers this game so far.
Exactly. You know, starting out for 2 for 10. Credit to Nix's defense, the way they played them, you know, sticking that 2-3, you know, just keeping either Colt McCoy or Adam on him. That's bigger, stronger defender than he's used to. But, you know, what's kept him in it is that 3-point game, shooting 57% so far tonight. And Nixa only 1 for 6, 17%. You saw that in that Webb City game. You know, that's definitely what made them kind of stagnant. They got going in the second half because of Ty Kellis. But, you know, when you're shooting 17% from 3-point land, that's not what you want.
Yeah, so far these past couple games, it seems like only Ty Kellis can knock down 3-pointers. Him and Flint had one last game as well, but just definitely needs to be more made shots from there, more people getting active from the 3-point line, excuse me, because it's definitely just been absent, you know, but just simply the opposite for Republic. I mean, 57% from 3 is insane, but Nixa won that first quarter, Republic won the second 9-6, so Nixa won the first one 13-9, so we'll see how it shapes up here in the third quarter, and with Nixa only a 1-point lead, and not to mention low-scoring game here tonight, 19-18.
Exactly. Republic's done a great job just keeping McKnight and McCoy in check. You know, they haven't been able to get that ball inside as much. They've been trying to work it around a little bit more than they're used to. And with those 3 balls not falling, it's allowed them to become stagnant. But definitely a recurring theme is just the 3-point shots hitting against Nixa. I mean, I feel like every single team that they go against is just beating them in the 3-point battle. Shooting 57% on the night is just an outrageous number. And, you know, Nixa's definitely going to have to find a way to match that 3-point scoring.
For sure. This game is going to, I said the same thing about Webb City, but I got a better feeling about this one. This game is going to come down to the wire. Republic comes out of the huddle, and we are just getting set to go here for the second half. Govan will set the offense for Republic. And
the third period has definitely been Nix's, you know, time to shine all season. We saw it in the blue and gold against Branson. They came out, I believe they went on a 25, they won this quarter 25-9 or something like that, but they just they really get hot after that halftime speech, you know. Talking to the players, you know, Blanche's such a passionate guy. He loves this game, but he lives and breathes it. And, you know, he does a great job just hyping them up coming out of that quarter. And right here, we're already going to see a turnover. I mean, something that Nixa hasn't done a great job of capitalizing off tonight. Yeah, Flint capitalizes off the turnover, like you said, gets a layup there. So the Eagles will be the first team to score here in the second half. And as we were saying, if Nixa can get, you know, that similar story to where they just get hot in that third period and start forcing a bunch of turnovers, they can run away with this one like they'd have in so many other games. Blades standing. Now Govan inside, fouled was Villasica by Braylon Smith. You know, something to look out for in this game, you know, 3 people on Nix's side that have 2 fouls. But Randy Flint, such an impact offensively and defensively. You know, if they can start attacking him, starting to get him to make, you know, try to, what's the word for it, overcommit on some of these things and draw fouls, you know, get him on the bench, that's a huge loss for Nixa. Kicked out, Villasica 3-pointer, short off the rim. Ball hits the ground, and fighting for the rebound was Coleman and McKnight, and it'll stay Republic basketball there. And something I'm already noticing is how they're playing, you know, Govan with this 3-ball going. I saw right there's an open layup. He almost took it. But, you know, with this 3-point ball dropping for Republic so far, you have to respect it. You're going to have to, you know, maybe live with that Govan getting in there and just try to make him beat you one-on-one. Ball stripped away by Govan. Now Blades in transition. Good pass over to Ewell, and he flips it up and in over McCoy, who was going in there trying to get the block just inches. And if you're Nixa, you can't let Republic go on a run here. I mean, coming out of that half with that big-time 3-ball, that's definitely going to give them the majority of the momentum. And, you know, so far, just Nixa has struggled to get that ball inside. They've been living completely off that, what the guards have been able to make, or like with either the playmaking side or just coming off the dribble and trying to get a shot at.
Inside McKnight for 2. He's entered double digits now in this game with 10.
And that's just his spot. That's where you want to get him the ball, just right there by that basket. He has such great footwork. If you can just give him the ball anywhere in that paint, it's almost a guarantee he's going to score.
Ewell guarded by McKnight on the far corner. Republic, like we said, they're definitely going to want to try to incorporate that inside game more. Right as I say that, finger roll layup from Kieran Govan.
And as I was saying earlier, with that three-pointer going, they're guarding him a little bit differently, giving him a little bit more space to go on one-on-one, and that could give Nixa some problems, as we saw there. Definitely a lane he's not used to having this game.
McKnight going through the contact, gets a charge called on him. He doesn't agree with that call.
Although maybe a questionable call. I mean, if you're the coach, you got to be happy with AJ to be able to just stand in there and take that hit.
And now on the other end, Kellis and McCoy trap Blades, and they force a travel called on him. So it's going to be Nix's ball now right after, that big momentum swing. They give it right back. Passing it in is Flint. Oh, jeez. God, that was bad.
But if you're Republic, you need to capitalize off of those opportunities. Getting that big time momentum swing with that charge call. A charge in a game can completely switch momentum. We've seen it many times. There's someone just sitting in there and taking that hit can really fuel a team, but you got to be able to capitalize off of those opportunities that you're getting.
So Kellis will head to the line. Kellis makes the first one. He's been pretty decent, I'd say, for high school at the free throw line, 69%. We can round to 70 for him.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice number right there. Just sitting right around that 70 mark is where you want to be. Especially in high school, you'll see in the NBA people hitting 90%. Yeah. Just someone like Randy. Randy's such a great shooter from the free throw line, but 70% is not a bad number to be at.
There's Govan guarded by Smith. Villasica made McKnight get in the air, pulls up right over McCoy. That's a tough shot for Jim Villasica.
You're exactly right, especially with someone his stature. Standing at, it says 6'1". I don't know if he is 6'1", but for someone of that stature being able to just rise up and hit a tough shot like that is huge.
McCoy inside, spinning through the contact. Found himself under the basket, so gets a tough shot, but can't finish his own rebound as well. McKnight with the third attempt there, gets fouled going up in the attempt.
And it just seems like the same kind of thing as last game, just not being able to finish around the rim. They'll get in these good opportunities, you just can't really get it down. And if you're a Republic, credit to you. They're playing physical defense on that inside, definitely making it not easy to get these layups to go.
McKnight misses his third free throw of the game, 0 for 3 now.
And that's definitely huge, and especially in a game like that. You'll see so many of these games come down to just free throws.
And second one, no good as well. Coleman grabs the ball out of the air, coming in the open court. Govan, McKnight tried to take the charge, but they get a foul on the Eagles instead. Pressing come to the game for McCoy. That's McCoy's third foul of the game.
And that's something we saw a lot of, when McCoy went into foul trouble last game, they had to sub him out. It's just kind of been a little bit cold from, the painted area these past couple games, but he contributes so much just on that defensive end and that rebounding end. He's such a physical player, and, credit to Blanton for just telling him to keep shooting that ball and keep having the confidence.
Republic there just throws the ball out of bounds. That is another turnover for them.
And it's something we've talked about. You got to convert on these opportunities. You got McCoy to foul, and you got to be able to capitalize off of Nix's mistakes.
Good pass inside. Ewell wide open under the basket. And that's as easy as it's going to get for him.
And
Republic taking the 1-point lead now.
Republic just playing better basketball. There's nothing else you could say about it. They're playing much more better team basketball. They're working this ball around. You know, right there, maybe a little bit of a miscommunication, leaving Ewell wide open. I mean, if you're next, you can't have that stuff. It's really going to come down to those little things, those free throws, which Flint at the line right now. But if you're Flint, you have to knock these down.
And there makes the first one. We already spoke about it a bit. Flint, 89% from the free throw line. We'll give them 90 as well.
I mean, that's just a crazy number to have, especially not just in high school, but at any level. To be able to have someone that can shoot 90% from the line.
And timeout called by Nixa. It's a full timeout, so we will step aside for 60 seconds. Nixa gets 2 free throws from Randy Flint to give them the 1-point lead. And we'll be back in just a second. We return from the Nixa timeout with 3:31 left in the third quarter. Jalen Liddell coming into the game for the Eagles, taking the place of Braylon Smith.
Now, someone we haven't seen a lot of the rest of this game ever since that turn was Mathan Ajayi, kind of looking elsewhere, trying to get those faster defenders in there.
Ewell had the open 3, but did not let it go.
You know, sometimes when you hesitate, you know, that's all you need to just not be able to shoot it. Maybe a smart decision right there.
A little bit of a mismatch they have. Ewell 6'5" on Liddell, who is no taller than 6 foot.
5'10", I believe is how.
Yeah, 5'10".
But just looking at this Republic, you know, team, almost all juniors besides, you know,
Villasica.
You know, it's such a young team. Definitely a team to look out for this, especially next year.
Fadeaway jumper from McKnight can't fall. Flint goes high in the air for that rebound. Presson puts up a shot, gets his own rebound though, and fighting for the ball with Brody Blades. Blades was out of bounds. Just not a very smart shot there from Presson.
I mean, you know, like I said earlier, Republic just playing better team basketball. They're not taking up shooting shots early in possessions like that. You just need to kind of work this ball around and try to take what the defense gives you.
McKnight fighting off a screen is at the three-point line, takes one dribble in and is short on the mid-range. Good pass from Flint right in the hands of Preston. I mean, on a silver platter. That is beautiful work from Flint under the basket.
You can't ask for a better pass right there. I mean, just the body control to be able to grab that and then just spin it around and have a perfect pass. And right there, you know, getting Flint, not a lot of contact right there. I think he had all ball.
Flint's third foul of the game will come there. Govan way off on the first free throw. Can't hit the second one as well. Both these teams, I mean, efficient from or inefficient from the field, also from the free throw line.
Exactly. I mean, there's not a lot of great shooting so far. A lot of teams are playing slappy basketball.
No look pass. Liddell in the corner, can't finish.
I mean, Flynn channeling his inner Steve Nash right there. I mean, you saw that out of bounds pass, and then right there, just a beautiful no look.
Foul called inside on Republic. That one's on Braxton Lundberg. And the Eagles in the bonus now, both teams in the bonus, ending the third quarter. McKnight yet to make a free throw tonight. And he gets that one to roll in there. So, win of the second quarter, or third quarter, I believe it was 20-19, something like that. I mean, there has only been 17 points scored in this third quarter between both teams. That is insane to me.
I mean, I know a long time ago, but the 8th grade year, I believe, I mean, a game just like this, I mean, low scoring, very defensive. I believe it was in COC in the tournament, you know, that both teams have a history of just playing very close defensive games.
Eagles working it around the horn. Liddell guarded by Govan, back in the corner. Kellis driving baseline, skips it over for Presson, deep in the corner. Presson is way off on the three-pointer, and scurried up the court is Blades, trying to cross-court pass to Uhl, and it's stolen away by McKnight up to Kellis, and he will get the wide-open layup on the run.
I mean, that's just something we haven't seen a lot of this game, you know, especially that three-ball shooting, not being able to get it going.
Wide open three from Uhl is off.
I mean, both teams has kind of gotten cold in this third period.
Three-pointer from Kellis is blocked. Goes inside and finishes with a contact anyway. Got his own rebound. And I saw multiple times where he just got blatantly smacked there while shooting.
And that's what coaches preach, is following your shot. You know, just way to be very aware and instantly recover.
Timeout called by the Republic Tigers. It's a full timeout. Coach Blancett here discussing with the officials, potentially wanting a foul there. While they do that, we'll be back in just a moment. 30.8 left in the third, 34-28. Nixa leads by 6. Getting a bit heated here at Republic High School in Republic, Missouri. We're nearing into the third quarter. The end of the third quarter, 34-28. Nixa leads by 6. Student section sharing some bad blood now. 10 seconds. We're near 10 left in the third. Republic with the ball. They had a buzzer beater earlier with Blades. Can they do it again? Govan driving inside, backing down on Liddell. Liddell getting his hands in there, and Republic won't even get the shot off. No, they're going to say it.
Whoa.
They're going to say it counts.
I don't believe he got that shot off. I don't think it was even close.
Nonetheless, I mean, no replay. It's definitely tough to tell from down there when it's that close. But nonetheless, it'll count. 34-30. Republic will lead by, or trail by 4, trying to fight back and take down Nixa as the underdog here tonight. Fourth quarter coming to you in just a moment. Fourth quarter coming to you here at Republic High School. This one will definitely be decided here in the final minutes 4-point game between, again, man,
It's all over the place.
It's just happening. It's twice now. It's been attacking me all night. Again here, Nixa still leading by 4.
You know, something we could see that this come back to bite these teams is their poor free throw shooting.
Liddell throws a scary pass, and it's tipped away by Govan. He was tied up with McKnight on the near sideline, and McKnight is down.
Both a little shaken up.
Govan down as well. There's a big collision there. We'll be back in just a moment. Back from the injury timeout, McKnight able to walk over to the bench on his own. Just collision, and both of them holding their lower area of their body. I hope they're all right. Govan, Blades, another 3 off the mark. Cleaning the board. Off the glass is McCoy. Flint now, baseline pass to Flint. Right back his way. And a defensive foul called under the basket from Lundberg. Lundberg's second foul of the game. And McKnight will head back in for Liddell.
You know, just so far, not a lot of scoring. I mean, the scoreboard obviously reflects that 34-30 in the fourth quarter.
And Republic just not ready for the inbound there. The student section was yelling at them, and I see them looking over there. And McKnight, I mean, as soon as the official gives the inbound to that ball, they can go. And
way to McKnight just get back in there and immediately make an impact.
Definitely a competitor, not just going to let something like that take him out of the game. He's right back in. And Flint cross court to Kellis. No one even looking his way. Lundberg had his back turned. And that is going to be a 4-point swing for the Eagles coming out of the injury timeout. And Republic coach Josh Harp will call the timeout here. This timeout brought to you by Elite HVAC 417, and we'll step aside. Govan will set the offense for Republic. Down 8 now from a 4-point swing from Nixa. They're trying to come back into this game.
You know, 8, not normally a big deficit, but with how this game has gone, I mean, not a lot of scoring. You know,
8 can feel like 12
exactly.
or 14. And especially from the inside game from Republic. We said coming into the half,
20%.
20% from inside, 57 from beyond the arc, and we've only seen a couple 3 shots since then. Govan barely misses the first free throw, but they've definitely tried to do that more this half, and it's worked out for them. But you know, you would just wish if you're Republic that you would have done that more in the first half.
Exactly. I mean, both teams so far just struggled to get things going. But Nixa, before that timeout, started to get their offense going a little bit, play a little bit more in transition, and you know, just that's what they're going to need to do to close out this game and just keep running up the score.
Ajayi in the corner, swings it back over to Flint. One more, Ajayi, far corner off the back of the rim and fouled by T.D. Coleman. McKnight had the ball near the free throw line.
And the 3 points tonight just not been their shot. You know, just I believe only one's
That's been
converted.
these past couple games for them.
Exactly. It can definitely be a big weakness for this offense. You know, if they get too stagnant, as we've seen tonight, they've had trouble scoring inside, and that's completely led to an offensive shutdown for both sides.
McKnight going inside with the left hand, up to 15 now. Kind of taking over this Knicks offense lately.
And a very similar scoring breakdown to what last game was, with Ty and Adam leading the charge, and then Randy has 8 so far, but a lot of scoring coming from your 3 main guys.
Villasica, top of the key. Flint trying to read the pass.
And that's 4 for Flint. I mean, you just can't, that's something you just can't afford to lose, especially in a game like this.
Yeah, Flint with his 4th foul. Multiple games in a row now where he's gotten a 4. Villasica, top of the arc. In the hands of Coleman now. Republic trailing by 9. Going in on Flint. Blades tries another 3. Flushes in and out. And it'll be Flint bringing it down for Nixa.
I mean, he's definitely a type of player. When he's hot, he's hot. He's not. Tonight's just not been his day.
Was on fire a bit there in the first half, but since then, he's not been able to knock any down. Flint, oh, good move. Stop and go with the left hand inside.
And Nixa finally starting to get things going. You know, just great move off the dribble. He's so
quick first step.
Exactly. We talked about it so much. That quick first step can just take you so many places in this game. You know, just being able to switch that switch of pace is just so deadly.
Coach Brock Blancett will call a timeout after that Flint bucket. They are now up 11. Just wants to get a message into his guys before near the end of this game. You know, want to close it out. Don't let Republic come back.
Especially, and you want to keep going on this run you have. I mean, you're finally starting to get things going. Just don't mess it up. Don't try to do too much. Just play to your strengths.
Play your game. Control the game. Control the tempo.
And that's something they've done so great of all the season. It's just controlling the pace of the game, playing at the speed that they want to play at. And if they can keep it up so far, they might be able to close this out.
Govan will orchestrate the offense for Republic. They're going to need a lot of points here coming near the end, down by 11.
And in a game that's been so hard to come by any points.
Yeah, defensive matchup for sure. Oaf in the game for Nixa as well. He subbed in. Nixa has used a lot of their bench, so first time I think that they've used this much of their bench since the Rogers tournament or Bentonville. Coleman from the corner flutters off the rim and brought down by
Nixa here. You just want to work this ball around, you know, get the best shot you can, just try to waste as much clock as possible.
Liddell off the McCoy screen, springs it over to Oaf. McCoy off the dribble, flips it up with the left hand, just flushes out of the rim, but McKnight cleans it up for 2 under the basket.
And here they come with the second chance points. I mean, they had a lot of chances with those, you know, second and third, you know, chances at the basket, but they weren't converting them as well. But towards the end of the game, they've finally been able to start getting it going.
Kellis, foot just barely out of bounds, getting that rebound there. So it'll stay at Tiger basketball. Flint comes back. He headed to the scores table, now back over to the bench.
Maybe he's trying to keep him for these final minutes. You know, a player like Flint, you need him on the floor in those clutch time minutes.
Inbound to Blades. He's guarded by Oaf. Inside. Blades too strong with the right hand. And McCoy got to have double-digit rebounds this game. Gets another one.
And exactly, you know, that's just been their problem all game, not being able to finish on an opportunity. I mean, great move, a quick first step, got him to the rim, just couldn't finish.
Coach Brock Blancett calls a timeout Flint heads to the scores table. It's a full timeout for the Nixa Eagles. They lead by 13 over the Republic Tigers. This game coming to a close here. 3:42 left in the fourth. We'll see who comes out on top in just Nixa with the ball up by 13, trying to hang on here and keep their lead over the Republic Tigers. Just 3.5 minutes left in the game. McKnight fadeaway jumper, short and off the fingertips of Oath.
No, Republic gonna have to speed it up here. I mean, saw in that last possession, Blaze missed a wide open layup, and you're just gonna have to convert on those opportunities. With so few of them coming in this game, with such a low scoring game, you're gonna have to convert on everything that they give you.
Loose ball picked up by McKnight, gives it over for Flint.
And right there, they're just gonna slow it down. I mean, maybe had a chance at throwing it to Kellis, but they're gonna slow it down and waste more clock so they can come out of here with a win.
Flint sizing up. Top of the key, he's got 2 on him, and they leave McCoy open. Back out, Kellis, 3. Off the mark. And they call behind the back on McCoy, but I mean, he just kind of jumped up and grabbed it.
Yeah, they've been calling that all night on him. I don't know about that one. Just kind of seemed like a basketball play. But.
And Colt McCoy will foul out of this ball game. Coach Blanchett arguing that he went straight up. Still doesn't let McCoy sit down, and Liddell will come into the game for the Eagles in his place.
I definitely didn't agree with that call. Seems like he just kind of jumped straight up. There's not much more you can do there for McCoy.
As a team averaging 85 points per game, I mean, that is insane for a high school team. I'd say 3 knocked down by Slater Howard, but as a team that averaged 85 points per game, 44, I mean, that's half of that mark for the Eagles.
I mean, 85 is just insane in high school ball. I mean, and credit to Republic, just completely shut them down tonight. I mean, you're exactly right, almost half of what they normally score. I mean, it's definitely going to, you know, the teams might watch this game just to see how Republic played them, what went well, what didn't go well, and how they can game plan around Nixa. Because Republic has definitely exposed some weaknesses tonight.
Liddell, the trigger man, finds Flint. Definitely the strategy here, just to try and hold it. McKnight guarded by Lundberg near half court in the hands of Liddell, guarded by Blades. Republic putting on the pressure. Coach Josh Harp, I mean, pleading to his guys, like, we're down by 10, 2 minutes left. Like, we got to get the ball back somehow.
Exactly. They're going to have to really get into this Nixa team. They can't let them just pass the ball around and just waste time. With only 2 minutes left, you're going to have to start, you know, trying to force turnovers, maybe gambling a little bit. It's going to be risky. You can get your guys in foul trouble a lot, especially with, you know, multiple guys on the Republic side with 3 to 4 fouls.
Ewell in for Slater. They inbound it to Smith, and they will foul.
That might be your best option. I mean, not letting them waste time, just getting people in there that are going to foul, and then some of the people that are in foul trouble back in on offense.
Smith at the free throw line, nails the first one. Looking ahead for the Nixa Eagles, everything stays how it is right now. They're up by 12 with that second Smith free throw. They will be 10-1 on the season, and the next time they play will be next week versus Carthage at home.
And that's a shot they've been missing so far. I mean, so far this half, Nixa has played great defense on them, but they're going to have to keep, seeing these three-pointers fall.
Almost a steal there for Govan. He's all up on Flint. Flint trying to work around him, does, and a foul called on Govan as he gets right past him.
Sometimes someone's better to foul, but, not that guy. I believe he might be up to 90% on the year with this game tonight. I mean, perfect tonight from the free throw line. That's exactly the guy you want shooting if you're Nixa.
First free throw, good. For Flint, like you said, that's definitely not the guy you want to foul. Surely they've seen the scouting report. They know he can shoot free throws.
And that's the exact type of player you need at the end of the game. Someone that can just stand in there, ice in his veins and not be shaken.
Down 11, Republic needing points fast. Slater to Uhl off the screen.
And they're definitely running a fast offense, running everyone off of the screen, just trying to get a quick open bucket. And so far, Nixa's responding very well.
Blade's jumper gets tipped by Kellis and into the hands of Flint. A minute left now. Flint slowing it down for the Eagles.
And just right there, they're trying to run everyone off a screen, but Nixa fighting over them very well like they did earlier in this game.
Nixa leading by 11. Flint can hit the free throws here. That might seem like the dagger. Govan gets the rebound, coming down for Republic, could spin, going up on Kellis, gets it to finish off the glass. Timeout called by Coach Joe Harp.
46 seconds left. That's still a lot of basketball left. Anything can happen.
46 seconds left. Republic trying to make a last miracle effort here with 40 down by 10 here at the end of this game. We'll be back after this Republic timeout. Nixa inbounds quickly, scurrying down the court. Braylon Smith's pass to McKnight cannot be corralled. Athletic catch from Kellis there on the near wing, but a foul called. And it'll send Nixa to the free throw line. It's the fifth foul on Villasika, so he will foul out of this game. Slater Howard coming in for him.
And these are huge free throws right here. Maybe St. Ignace could put this game away, put him up by 12.
Now from McKnight, second one. Just off the front rim as well. They get a foul called on Braylon Smith. That's Smith's third foul of the game. And one more in Republic's in the bonus, so Nixa does not want to foul here.
Exactly. You don't want to give them
easy points. You just want to kind of close the game out here.
Exactly. Just play clean basketball, keep your hands off of them.
Seems like that is what they're doing. Govan, they're trying to get the ball to Blades, and anyway, in the corner is Coleman. Coleman's three off the back iron and
that
out
might
of
be the
bounds for Slater Howard.
You know, a shot they were able to get going fast in that, you know, the first half they haven't been able to hit as well. And clearly, what was a big, you know, discussion in that locker room, and the Knicks has done a great job of slowing that up.
It's definitely the main part of their offense. You know, they made more three-pointers than two-pointers in the first half, which is just insane to think about. And whenever that shot's not falling for you, just kind of your offense slows down if that's what the main part of it is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, 10-point deficit, definitely could see that coming if you're looking at the stats.
And that's something we talked about. I mean, you can't only rely on that three ball to save you in a game. You're not. It's a low percentage shot, but if you can get it, someone that can get it to go. I mean, it's so deadly, but you know, just kind of relying on that three ball kind of killed them this game. With their.
Govan tries a three. Haven't seen that one all day.
That's the first one I've seen him shoot in a while.
Yeah. I mean, left wide open. They need points fast. Might as well. They're leaving you wide open. But, you know, that's another thing, though. If he can start knocking those down, then that can change how this team plays completely, because they're going to have to start guarding up on him, and then he can score off the dribble more.
That's something he could definitely work on in the offseason, you know. I mean, it can be hard to develop something like that in the season, but, I mean, next year, this team's so young. There's so many juniors on this team. They could be a very big threat next year, and you're exactly right. With his quick burst ability, that strength that he has, if he can get that three ball going, he'll be dangerous at all three levels.
So Nixa just getting 3 points here near the end of Republic fouling. 9.9 left. Nixa's going to hang on here. Republic tried to come back there in that second and third quarter, but Nixa had a good run after an injury timeout, actually. McKnight went in there and went on a quick 4-point swing, and then the rest was history from there. Govan way short on the three, and that is how the game will end. The Nixa Eagles take down the Republic Tigers in their house, 51-39, their first road game of the season. They get their first road win of the season.
Exactly. I mean, not the prettiest win. I mean, a win is a win. Yeah, it was a pretty ugly game at start. You know, couldn't really get anything going. Republic played them hard, a lot harder than they're used to. But if you're Nixa, I mean, just way to battle through it and, you know, coming on top.
And you know what they say, you know, good teams, like sometimes like they said, they score their 85 like they're averaging, and sometimes they get a scrappy 51 points.
Exactly. I mean, good teams find ways to win.
Yeah, good teams, they find ways to win. You know, my Carolina Panthers are going to find a way to win tomorrow against the Rams.
I don't know about that.
But you know, Nixa, I mean, this just proves, I mean, they were not shooting well tonight and still able to put up 51 points. That's definitely a big feat. But like I said earlier, the next time they play will be against Carthage at home next Tuesday, so make sure you tune in for that game. But until then, from the Nixa Live crew, producer Jordan Burns, Evan Brett, and myself, we say so long from Republic High School, and good night.